it's wonderful to be back in Manchester, the land of sunshine and blue skies and heat. Right, so it's just gone 8 o'clock in the morning, and I've just dropped my car in at a local garage, Ridgeway Motors, for an interim service on the car. So I've had it for about 18 months, that car. It's been an absolutely fantastic car, the Sanyong Corando, absolutely amazing car. It had an advisory on the MOT last year for its brake disc on the front, so the MOT is due at the end of December, so they're going to give that a check over and give us a bell later, so I'll know whether it's going to pass the MOT or not at the end of December, with plenty of notice for getting spare parts. So I should have dropped the car off last night. They said drop it off in the afternoon and we can crack on with it like as soon as we open up. Anyway, they had the afternoon off, it turns out. So I'm making my way over what's called Manor Farm. So here, so behind me, over in the distance there, there's somebody there, a business there, that's going to feature on a future vlog that's coming up soon, very soon. And I'm taking a shortcut over the fields to where I live. And you've heard me talking about the threat to the local green belt. This area right here, right now, exactly where I'm stood, fingers crossed, is now being protected, but it's still under threat of development. The whole, it's called the Simply Wedge, a whole green belt between where I live and Manchester Airport. Everything, if basically if it's got grass on it, the local authorities want to build on it. What I might do, if I remember, I'm going to insert a clip here of somebody that I sort of know who was walking his dog a couple of years ago, who was unaware of what the local authorities in Manchester are up to. Tell me if you recognise this guy. Yeah, watch this. So just walking back to my car, and I've just bumped into a local resident. He's out walking his dog on this, actually, funny enough, a very popular dog walking area. You just give a quick introduction, and can you just tell me, have you heard of this? Are you aware of this plan to destroy the Simply Wedge?
No, my name's Michael Lavelle, and I come round here regular, and this is the first I've heard of all this development. I mean, it's not just this field here we're talking about. It goes on for miles, which I've only just heard about, and I'm shocked. He just showed me all the plans and all the green belt which is going, and no one seems to know about it.
No.
Why? Is my question. Why is there no posters up? Why is residents not being informed about all this? You know, we've heard little bits about the Y-Vale going, you know, but no one's heard about these rugby pitches and football pitches going, you know, where, you know, the residents and the community need to know about these things.
Yeah, absolutely. Can I just say thanks ever so much for those kind words, and you know, that really means a lot. But to say we will try and get some leaflets out and get some information and publicity done for it.
Yeah. Do that.
Right, just over the fields. A lot of people don't know where all these little paths are. Over the fields, past what's called Birdman Rugby Club. So you get a lot of dog walkers in this area. Whew. And the old moat pond is all dried up. Right, try and cross this next road, which is really fast. You've got to be really careful here. 2 people have been killed on this road crossing it. Right, I'm alive. So when I get back, I'm going to give Rasha a quick leg stretch. Then I'm going to send something called Lewis a message to say I'm home. And all being well, he's going to pop over this morning and pick up some old CB radios that I've got. He's got them. If you're into sort of CB radios or amateur, sorry, I'm having to watch where I'm standing so I don't slip. If you're into the old CB radios or amateur radio or communications, Lewis has got a ginormous YouTube channel, and he's an absolutely great guy. So it'd just be nice to I don't know if he's going to fire them up or not, but it'd be just nice to see him use some of this old gear that I've got. And then he did a vlog a year or so ago. I had a briefcase. I used to run a couple of CB clubs back in the day, and yeah, he did an amazing little vlog on all the old memorabilia and newsletters and other bits and bobs that I kept. Right, I'm coming now onto the end of this footpath. Be careful, don't slip. Which is called Wellfield Lane. So I've got my walking boots on. The reason for that is when I put my loft insulation away the other day, my Wellingtons are on the other side of it and I'm not putting it all out. So fortunately I had my walking boots in the back of the car. So Wellfield Lane, so this little historical lane, 5 minutes from home. It's beautiful little lane. Look at these little cottages here. And then we've got the brook down here as well. So when I used to be little, I used to come, used to walk from our house down to the brook and come fishing for tiddlers. Did you used to fish with a little fishing net for tiddlers, little sticklebacks, little tiny ones, and put them in a jam jar and then take them home? I used to have an old tin bath, a really old one, and we watered in the back garden and had water, and I used to put my tiddlers in the tin bath in the back garden. Kids nowadays, they just have nothing like that, do they? I used to spend hours and hours and hours in this brook when I was little, walking over the fields over this way to Alton Golf Course, King George's Pool, or you can backtrack it over that way over Ash Farm. I don't know, just spent hours in the brook paddling. Sometimes go in with your Wellingtons and then the water would go over the top, and once that happened you're on you're on the end. So Wellfield Lane. So locally, back in the CB days, when there was you're on AM, the illegal naughty CBs used to arrange to have eyeballs. He had nicknames for places, and this lay-by here was called the Lake. So this is 1979, 1980, and it was called the Lake because it always flooded and was full of water. And here we are, we're 4 decades, 40 years on, and look. It's still a lake. Well, I'll tell you a funny story about some flats up here in a minute. I need to tell you a really funny story. Just bear with me. If you like Daleks and Doctor Who, this is for you. Alright, let me tell you this story. These flats here, and they become masonettes in a minute for, we just call them old people. These flats here. So when I was very, very little and Doctor Who come out, I was petrified of the Daleks. The Daleks absolutely petrified me in an unbelievable way. And my brother told me that when these were being built, so you can imagine like foundations and then the brickwork. So my brother actually told me, and this is a true story, that in these flats here lived the Daleks. Oh yes, yes, the Daleks. The real Daleks lived here, and I, for I don't know, a couple of years, would not walk up here on my own because this is where the Daleks lived. True story, 100% true story. Oh, Russia, how are you? You been a good girl? Hey, Russia, what are you doing? Right, it's Russia. So we've been in half an hour now, just dry, absolutely soaking when we got in, and Russia's just had a walk, and she doesn't like being wet. Right, I've got Lewis coming round shortly to go and pick these CB radios up, and last night you didn't see what I did. I did a fish, mashed potatoes and veg for my tea. So I've got a little bit of mash and some veg left over. So tonight I'm going to do a cottage pie for tea. So dead easy. So I might sort of take you with me as we do that and show you how I make a cottage pie. What's the difference between a cottage pie and a shepherd's pie? Comment below if you know the difference between a cottage pie and a shepherd's pie. Is it carrots? Right, so it's well early. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. and I'm sort of grounded at home today, so I'm sort of going to prep up for tonight's tea, get it all ready, because when you do a cottage pie, the beauty of it is you can make it up, and then the last stage basically is to get it in the oven with your mashed potatoes to get it all bubbling and crispy on top, and I like a bit of cheese on top as well. So I'm just going to prep up. I'm just been peeling some potatoes and carrots, and I'm just going to cut them up at the moment, and I'm going to leave them soaking in some cold water for now. So I've got a guy coming over, Lewis, shortly to pick these CB radios up, and once he's been, I might rearrange the living room. So we've got our television under our bay window at the front of the house, and the reason we've got that there, we used to have a settee there, and when I had Sky, my other dog, and Rasha, it got really bad. They just spent all the time sat on the windowsill, which is really cute, and then they sort of got really territorial, and anytime anybody passed, they used to start barking and jumping at the window and all the rest of it. So we had to, in the end, get them off that windowsill because of the chaos they were causing. Anyway, Rasha's... Hello, Rash. Sorry, she sat down behind me wagging her tail. Hello, here. Hello, Rash. So Rasha's, fingers crossed, is now getting a bit old, and without Sky, she's not going to be jumping up on the windowsill. So I'm going to move Sandra's settee, possibly today, back to where it used to be. Then I'm moving a great big stand, a TV stand and unit. It's quite a messy job, to be honest, over to where Sandra's settee is. And then the worst thing with this is the trail of wires going behind. So I've got a CCTV system, I've got FreeSat, normal TV, a Freeview box, and 1,001 wires. Anyway, so I'm going to possibly do that very shortly as well. But for now, I'm just going to go and chop up these potatoes and carrots and leave them soaking for a few hours. I am joined by the legendary, one and only Lewis, who's got an amazing radio amateur channel. Explain your channel, Lewis.
It's everything to do with radio communications, so CB radio, pirate radio, amateur radio, aircraft radio, a bit of spy stuff, and yeah, everything. Yeah, it's snowballed into everything to do with radio.
It's absolutely huge. I'll give a link down here in the description to his channel. So if you've got any interest in radio, like I say, he covers everything, and the research this guy does is absolutely amazing. I'm not just saying it. And we were just working. I just said to Lewis, I think it was 2 years ago, I handed over a briefcase, and we worked out it was about how many years?
It was about probably getting on for five
years. Yeah. This briefcase with CB memorabilia. But the reason why we've got Lewis here now is I'm going to give him, basically, I'm clearing all the crap out of the loft, and I'm trying to find people where I can just get rid of all the crap out of the loft. I've got a stack of old rigs here, so if you were into CB radio at the time, AM or FM, these are the babies, covered in dust, have not been fired up for many years. And this thing here, this was my sideband rig, that cost a fortune at the time. And Lewis, you're going to try and fire them up, aren't you?
I am. I'm going to take them home, fire them up, get them on the antenna, and see. I can't see why they wouldn't work, but yeah, we'll soon find out. Neil's assured me that if there's any smoke or fire, it's not my fault. So.
I'm giving him full no liability if these literally blow up or anything. But I'm not being responsible for burning down your house.
That's fine.
Is that all right? Yeah. But yeah, these are caked in dust. Absolutely, completely, decades they've been up in the attic. And as I say, this baby here, I've communicated all over the world on that thing. This fanfare, I don't recollect anybody having one of them that I can remember. I managed to get that smuggled in from America, I'm sure, if my memory serves me correctly. But Lewis, I look forward to seeing something coming up in the future with you.
You definitely will.
How's that sound?
Yeah,
marvellous, brilliant. So thanks, Lewis, for popping over.
No worries.
Let's get these boxed up for you. Perhaps I should have started to film this earlier, because I've actually done a lot of shifting about here. And yeah, these are some of the cables. I've already moved a load. So I'm just basically disconnecting all boxes now. I'm going to do my best to try and tidy these up, but virtually every one of those cables is actually in use in one form or another. So yeah, it's a bit like the spaghetti junction, isn't it? Trying to unplug it all and plug it all in and make sure it all works. Right, so to cut a long story short, all working. So T moved. A bit of a nightmare. Well, not a nightmare. It's just a million wires. So I've just had to order a longer HDMI cable to run a security box over to the television and a satellite cable extension. I've just been screwing on things myself, and it's just not been having any of it. Anyway, that's all on ordered off Amazon. Will be here tomorrow, so I'll be able to get that finished off. And I've decided to move a security CCTV box to another part of the living room because there's a million wires attached to that. So I'm going to neat up and sort that out tomorrow. And I've just been told my car is now ready for collection. And it is lashing it down outside. So I'm going to be walking back over the fields. I'm going to get absolutely soaking wet. And find out what the advisories are for the pre-MOT. So yeah, it's all going to plan today. Busy, but yeah, all going to plan and no major scream ups. That's the best thing. Right, so back over the fields and down the footpath that I came down this morning. It's very muddy. Go and pick up the car. What's the bill going to be? That's the question. So I'm going to have two lots of bills. I've got the service for today, and then they say they've done a pre-MOT, so I know it's got advisories with the brakes, and so all being well, they'll have been checked, and I need to get it rebooked in for the advisory work and MOT in the next week or two. So the actual MOT is due at the end, right at the end of December. So it's silly, like the 29th of December or 26th. Can't remember. Anyway, at the moment, from a very, very wet and soggy Manchester over to Timpley and Ridgeway Garage we go. So there we go. So I've had this service done. Blah blah blah. That was 160 quid. That's oil change, filter change. So that's pretty what's expected. The advisory from last year is still there. So that's the rear disc and pads going to need replacing, and I've got a centre prop shaft bearing needs replacing. So with it being a SsangYong, these can be a bit interesting to get all the spare parts. But I have got a contact. So the garage has asked me to order the parts, which I'm going to do, and they'll then quote me for labour. So I'm going to get back now. I need to get these clothes off because I am soaking wet, and I need to go and get these parts ordered. So that's where I am at the minute. Ridgeway Motors on Ridgeway Road in Timperley. Right, so kettle on, get some boiling water. I'm going to boil up some spuds and some carrots for my cottage pie that I'm going to make for tea. Quick security tip as well. So sometimes you can get your car keys stolen from your house or whatever. So here's my car keys, and if you notice, look what I've got on here. I don't have a BMW. So if somebody does come across my keys or steals them, obviously there is a remote control, so they'll be able to possibly use that, but they'll be looking for a BMW possibly. Right, I'm going to crack on here now. I'm going to prep up, and I'm not going to show you me cutting things up, but I'm going to start to get ready everything for a cottage pie for tonight's tea for when Sandra gets home. Right, so I've got fresh carrots and spuds simmering away. I've got some veg that was over from last night's tea. So the great thing with the cottage pie, it's a bit like a stew basically. You can just pretty well lob whatever you want in it. So I've chopped up fresh onion, mushrooms, garlic. Who was it the other day said he went garlic in there? Anyway, yeah, nice bit of garlic. I'm going to put a little bit of turmeric in this as well. And I've got some, I'm cheating here, a little bit of frozen green beans and some frozen peas, which I'm going to lob in. So what I'm going to do now, I've got the kettle on again. I'm just going to boil up the kettle, get some gravy going on to use as a stock. I'm going to fry up the mince, brown it off. Then I'm going to very lightly throw in the onion, mushroom and garlic. fry that up, but not too long. Put it into a casserole dish, throw in the veg, and then mash up some potato, put a lovely layer of potato on top of it, lob it in the oven, 45 minutes or so, get it all bubbly and everything like that, nice and crispy on the top of the potato. Then, and what I'm also then going to do then after that, is I'm going to grate up some cheese, bit of grated cheese on top of that, and then back in the oven for 10 minutes, and it's going to be beautiful tea. Right, so got the mince in, that's browning off. So once the mince is all browned off, I say, I'm very quickly going to throw in the onion, mushroom and garlic. But I'm not going to fry that for too long. And then lob it all into a dish with the veg. So gravy all made up, ready to go. And then another 10 minutes for the potatoes. They should be soft enough to mash. So also last night, and again because we don't throw anything away, I did have some mash left over from tea last night, so I'm going to be reusing that as well. So rather than throwing food away, if you've got anything left over, think about what you can use it for the following day. Top tip. So that's all the steaming up, that's all the mince all browned off, and now to throw in the other bits and bobs for a couple of minutes, and that'll just season up this bit of mince. Again, I mentioned the other day when I was doing chili con carne or spag bol, I can't remember, watch out for what sort of mince you buy. So we only use 10 or 5% fat mince, anything more and it's not so tasty. So always be mindful when you buy mince of the actual fat content. Right, let's grab these other bits and bobs to throw in. So you notice I've not cut up the onions into small bits, I've sort of just sliced the onions today, makes a bit of a change. So I'm going to mix all this up now and give this a 5-minute fry. Smells gorgeous. You can't beat mince and fried onion with a bit of mushroom and garlic. Smells absolutely gorgeous. Right, let me get this into the dish. And just adding a tiny bit of paprika, just give it a little bit of a kick, but just only a teeny weeny bit, as I say, some ground turmeric, health reasons, throwing in some mixed herbs and a few vegetables. Slowly start adding some gravy into it. Right, so in goes some milk and lashings of butter for the mashed potatoes. I can't be doing with lumpy mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes to me have got to be really creamy, really tasty, and that butter just gives it there. So I'm going to mash this up, then I'm going to add in the content from the leftover mash yesterday, remash it all up and get a lovely layer onto this tonight's cottage pie. So come on, I asked earlier, what's the difference between a cottage pie and a shepherd's pie? Do you know? Come on, comment below. I will tell you when I pull it out of the oven, if I remember. Yeah, but a lot of people get mixed up between shepherd's pie and cottage pie. Right, on goes the mash, and let's spread that all over. So this is really full now. Right, now lob that onto the baking tray. That's going in the oven for about 40-45 minutes. Then going to do my washing up, because a good chef always washes up as they go along. So I've got some stuff at the side of here, and I've pretty well got a full dishwasher of stuff now. So again, when you're watching your pennies, like you've got to nowadays, dishwashers are fine to use and they're relatively cheap to use, but make sure that when you do put your dishwasher on, it's absolutely full. Don't start dishwashing with just like a few bits and bobs. So we always wait until the dishwasher's full. But some of the large items, as I say, pan, frying pan, I'm going to hand wash. Right, let's lob this into the oven. So in she goes. And there's the grated cheese. So again, when this is all browned off, In a bit I'm going to put this cheese on top of it, get that in the oven, and yeah, I love to have the cheese on the potatoes. Cheesy mashy potatoes. Cheesy mashy potatoes. Yeah, cheesy mashed potatoes. Gorgeous. Bit of onion gravy on that and some sausages on it. Really tasty. Hey Russia, it's pouring down with rain. Just lashing it down. Oh yes, baby. Oh look, oh, just look at that. So I know it's overflowing a little bit, but that doesn't really matter. But doesn't that just smell and look gorgeous? So I'm going to sprinkle some cheese on that now, and back in for 10 minutes. So come with me, come with me. Oh, steam up. Steam up, even my glasses are steamed up. Let's have a butcher's at this. Let me just de-steam myself. It's very steamy. Overflowing cottage pie with mash and cheese. But look at that. Oh, wait. Life without cheese is not worth living. Right, so that's all ready. I'm going to scoop that out into a bowl in about 10 minutes. I'm just doing a little bit of some bits and bobs in the living room at the minute, and that's going to be a nice, lovely winter tea stodge ready for Sandra. Have I steamed up here? Ready for Sandra when she gets home from work. You know, Sandra's got no idea how lucky she has to have me, is she? She's got no idea. Every night I'd have a lovely meal ready for her, all homemade with these fair and beautiful hands. Only joking, of course, only joking. Don't take that serious. Sorry, I've just eaten my tea. That was really nice. Yeah, cottage pie and shepherd's pie. What's the difference? Did you get it? So a shepherd's pie basically has got lamb in it. So a cottage pie is more beef, and a shepherd's pie has lamb in it. Well, apart from that, essentially they're the same. So yeah, so there's the answer to that. I've been on to my contact now with my parts for the car, my Sanyong. So I've got the rear brake pads and shoes and everything all ordered, and a prop shaft bearing ordered. Just cost me 200 quid. So I'm going to be skint in a few weeks. I'm going to start watching the pennies. Anyway, they're ordered. I'm getting sent out tomorrow, so they'll be here early next week. As soon as they arrive, I can get myself booked into the garage, and hey presto, the car will be through its MOT. Right, I'm going to go now. I'm actually going to sit down and put my feet up for half an hour. It's been relentless since early hours. Well, not early hours, so I started walking out at 8 this morning. Anyway, all up to date and everything, and wait for Sandra to come home and dish out her tea for her. Will we get a comment off Sandra to say how lucky she is to have me? Probably not. Hello Sandra, we're back. You're home from, well, been home from work for an hour or so.
I have, yes.
And what awaited you when you got back?
When I got home, there was a very nice homemade cottage pie.
Oh, not a nice husband.
Well, yeah, well, at the moment I'm getting a nice husband every day, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Not a cottage pie every day. And I had mine with some homemade pickled red cabbage, which was just a nice extra touch with the cottage pie. So, yeah, it's very tasty.
Very good. And anything else awaited for you when you got home today?
Neil's moved all the furniture around again, which he likes to do every year.
I don't.
Yes, you do.
I've moved it around for about 4 years. So
only because of COVID.
It was because of Sky. We had to remove everything because my other dog gets on bounding in the window. So far, Rasha has not been on that settee since I moved it. She's very confused.
And what are we still awaiting, Neil? Now that we don't have Sky anymore.
The privet hedge. I mentioned that on my vlog.
No, what's hiding underneath your settee?
I've got a hole.
There's a Sky-sized dugout hole in Neil's part of the settee.
Yeah, so my other dog, when he was alive, where he used to be by my side all the time, and anything with my scent on, he used to sleep on, and we would quite often just wake up in the morning, come downstairs and find holes in settees where he'd burrowed. In fact, once he actually got stuck inside the settee and under the throw. And he popped his head out. I looked in, he said, I've moved Sky's things today. I've got his, so there's Sky's, yeah, bits and bobs. There's his old Ashes box and his lead and his yeah, all Sky stuff. So yeah, so I moved a lot of the stuff about for you, Sandra, and I'll let you rearrange it. We normally have the elves in naughty positions, so these are Sandra's elves.
We.
Yeah, we. Oh, what? Come on, Sabah.
It's more like I come home from work and the elves have been naughty again.
I don't know what's going on. And I've moved your stash of alcohol, which is, I don't know. I might tomorrow on the next video show you Sandra's stash of alcohol. When you see this, and I do believe you actually put some outside somewhere in recent days as well.
Well, my homemade wine. Got 11 bottles of homemade wine. There's some gooseberry and elderflower, I think, and no, red gooseberry and red currant, yeah, and elderflower, yeah, wine, very nice.
And there's about 19 bottles of,
and some of these are preserved, things like preserved sloes, preserved plums, all sorts of nice goodies.
Yeah, and
which
a freezer full of stuff, so I can't use it.
Well, a lot of that is seafood. That is really not mine.
Right,
we'll have to have a look at the weekend on that one, I think, now.
We might be having a roast chicken tomorrow, or we may not. We may be pizza or cottage pie. Depends on what my daughter's up to. Right, okay. So just wanted to bring Sandra in, just say hello again, once again, and see how's your day been and all the rest of it, because Sandra's got no idea how lucky you are to have me, have you? You come home to a beautiful cottage pie. You got no idea how lucky you are to have me.
Well, you didn't ask what I've been doing today, by the way. Anyway.
Clearing your desk.
Well, I did that. So where I work, there's a brand new building, the mechanical engineering and something building. Anyway, they're having an opening on the 1st of December, and I'm part of the faculty choir. So we had a little lunchtime choir practice. We're going to do some Christmassy things for the 1st of December for this official opening of this new building. So that was quite fun.
Right, fantastic. Yeah. Faculties. Nothing wrong with my faculties. What about yours, Sandra? Right, at that point, we're going to get going. So look after yourselves, guys. Do remember, if you've not already done so, you can subscribe down there below. And I've done it right today. And if you want notification when I upload a video, do that. And we do like to read your comments as well. So, if you leave any comments, we'll always try and get back to you. Right, look after yourselves. See you on the next one. Don't forget, get your Christmas cards early. Don't leave them till the shops sell out. And that includes you. See you on the next one. Bye.